Hi, this is Brian Ankney with AutoSuccess magazine. Hey, I appreciate you all taking the time to join us today. Today my guest is John Norman. He is the founder and COO of YouDeserveACookie.com. And today we're going to talk about, we're going to change the way your customers think, feel, and talk about your dealership, all while having more fun and making more money. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm sure that everybody on the call today, we all enjoy selling cars to people that we've sold cars to before, or referrals. It's more fun. We make more money. It's easier. It takes less time. And yet, we spend so much of our time focused on attracting these in-market buyers. And so today we're going to talk about maybe convince you to shift gears from, focusing on in-market buyers to bringing in more people that want to do business with you. Now, before we get started, a couple of things I'd like to go over. First of all, if you haven't joined AutoSuccess webinars yet on Facebook, please do. It's a great place for you to interact with our speakers and more importantly, with other people that are on these webinars that are trying to implement some of the ideas and some of the new changes in their dealership. You guys can share your successes and your failures with each other and hopefully, implement these new ideas. Now, one more thing before we get started. Depending on what type of device you are on today, there's a couple different ways to ask questions. If you're on a laptop or a tablet, you have a bar on the right side of your screen, and near the bottom it says questions. Right next to questions is a plus sign. You click that plus sign, you type in questions. Please type them in as we go. We're going to address all the questions at the end, but go ahead and type them in there, as you think of them. Now, if you are on a phone, if you're on an Apple or an Android, and this varies depending on which one you have, so you either have a bar across the top, a bar across the bottom, and on some devices you even have a picture frame that goes all the way around. And somewhere on that bar or that picture frame is a question mark. If you click that question mark, it's going to allow you to ask a question. Some devices you can just swipe it and it goes away. Others you have to click a little icon that looks like a monitor to get back to the webinar. Well, and so please ask questions, and we'll get to all of them at the end. With that, I'd like to hand it over to John. Welcome, John.
Hey, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really good. Doing really good. Excited about being on this broadcast with you, and got some great things to talk about today.
Perfect. Perfect. Let's get rolling.
Well, as you mentioned in your introduction, everybody, the cream of the crop in business is, repeat and referral business. I mean, that is where everybody would love to make their living at and that's what everybody strives to build their business for, is to have a loyal repeat and referral customer base, because when the market slows down, when things get rough, in good times and bad times, that is what helps us get through. That's what helps us decrease our cost of doing business and decrease our advertising costs, and it helps, with just being more competitive in our market, is to have a loyal repeat and referral customer base. And so we don't have to look very far, not just within the automobile industry, but throughout all, market, all business types. There's some great examples of businesses that have decided they're going to be just sell on price. And then there are other businesses that have decided, no, there's a particular type of clientele we want, and we're going to provide the service and the quality of products that attracts that clientele, and we're going to offer, we're going to be able to get a certain amount of money and margin and profit by catering and attracting that clientele. Look at the fast food industry. Look at McDonald's. Years ago, McDonald's, when I was a kid growing up, McDonald's was an experience. They have the Happy Meal. They had all the characters. They had Ronald McDonald and the Grimace and Hamburglar and it was, kids loved to go to McDonald's, and parents love to take their kids there. And the food was great. The food was tasty, and it was just a great dining experience there. And that's what made them the giant they are today. But now, they're losing market share, and nobody is really excited about going to McDonald's. McDonald's is where you go when you're in a hurry and you don't have a lot of money to spend, and you need to get quick. You just need to feel the need, And in comparison to that, the leading fast food chain from a profitability standpoint of view, and they're open one day less a week than all of their competitors, and they consistently make more money, is Chick-fil-A. And, everybody loves the Chick-fil-A dining experience. They feel appreciated. The product's good. They feel waited on. They walk in, they walk out, and they really feel like that business truly appreciates them as a customer, and everything about the dining experience there reinforces that. And so, what type of clientele do you want to attract? Who do you want to do business with? And realizing that, birds of a feather, flock together. I think that's, on our, not on this slide, but the one after that, what type of clientele do you want? Because people who, people of certain economic and demographics, they stick together. And if I'm selling guys who can buy cars and buy my products, they can afford to buy them, they've got the credit to buy them, then they've got friends and family who can buy them also. And so, what are you doing to attract more referral traffic from your customer base? What are you doing to exceed your customers' expectations? A lot of dealers in the market today, they're pretty much dependent, and they're pretty much depending on new clientele, new customers moving into their market. They're not treating the customer who just bought from them, they're not looking at the lifetime value of that customer. They're not looking, they're not hoping to sell that customer again. If they can, great. If not, no big deal. They're spending all their time and energy, 100% of their advertising dollars pretty much is going to attract active in-market customers who are shopping, up to a dozen other dealerships online. I mean, they could be shopping a dealership that's a couple hundred miles away from you and taking delivery from a dealer that's not just in a neighboring market, but it could be, an out-of-state market, because they're shopping by price. They're only looking for price. They know what kind of vehicle they want, and they're looking for the absolute bottom dollar that they can purchase that vehicle for, because they don't have a friend and they don't know anybody that they feel like they can trust, and nobody in the automobile industry has earned their business and has exceeded their expectations, and so there is no loyalty because no one has developed that loyalty. And so they're they're hoping that in 3 years, 4 years, when you or I get ready to buy another car, that if we're, if we don't want to come back and do business with them, that somebody else has moved into the marketplace and will take my place at the desk to buy a car from them. And so they're treating all of us, like we're expendable, because to a degree, in a great economy and in the right scenario, we are to a degree. And most dealerships can survive with that strategy. They're going to sell 50, 60, however many number of cars they sell this month. They're going to sell that every month because there's new people moving into the market, and they're really not dependent upon you and I minding your loyalty to stay in business. But man, how, look at what they're giving up by treating us like we're expendables. So let's think about this idea real quick. If all your dealership had was $3,000 this month to acquire new customers, this is the conversation we're having with dealers. Where would you spend that? Where is your go-to medium? Where is your, is it digital? Is it radio? Is it television? Is it newspaper? Is it print? Where is your go-to source? If you only had $3,000, where would you spend that at this month? And then what do you expect to get from that $3,000? How many customers, if all you had was $3,000 and you spent it, at the most profitable place for you, or where you feel like is your best chance of that money actually generating new clients for you, how many new customers would you be looking for in order to justify spending that? Let's say it's digital. How many new customers does digital advertising digital marketing have to produce for you month after month, year after year, in order for you to continue to spend that $3,000 there every month? And so, the national average right now is still, I think, between $350, $450, but those numbers are going up, and we're talking to dealers, every week that are spending $800 and upward, even as high as $1,200 to acquire a new customer. And that is just not sustainable. I mean, that's crazy. And they're absolutely totally dependent upon, getting the trade at the right deal, financing, making some money in F&I, but they're not making any money, on selling a new car if they're spending $1,200, to get a new customer. And so say that $3,000 gets you 8 customers, 8 in-market active customers, and they come in, they've already shopped a half a dozen other dealerships, and your salespeople at the end of the day are just beat to death. Your sales managers, everybody, this is just absolute brain damage dealing with these customers. And so that's the pond you're fishing out of, and that's where most dealers are. And so let's take that. Let's look at another idea, and this is not a new idea. This is tried and true relationship marketing. This is old school, and it works. And we have hundreds of dealers across the country that they choose to spend a portion of their resources with us every month, just less than 10% of their budgets, to acquire new customers, and they send every customer a surprise thank you gift in the mail. And you can take that same $3,000 and send, over 100 customers, a surprise thank you gift in the mail. Now, that 100 customers, we're going to generate, 6 to 10 referral customers for you. So, Brian, let me ask you. I mean, you're not directly in the car business, but who do you want to deal with? When the month is coming to a close, and you still haven't met your sales goals, where are you going to? Who are you looking to pull a month out?
Oh, I mean, when I first got into the car business, when I first started selling cars, I had the benefit of when I was in college, I had worked and run a window company with the high pressure sales window guys, and everybody was a model home, and we always got referrals. And so when I moved to the car business, they handed me this printout of past customers to call, and man, that was like brain damage. I mean, just
Absolutely.
brain damage, calling these people that had bought 5 years ago, or just trying to take ups. But once I had a few customers, I actually really tried to be great to my customers, and referrals was that's the best possible situation. You've got somebody that
Absolutely.
already comes in trusting you, they trust you,
Absolutely.
they like you, and they want to do business with you.
Absolutely. I mean, referrals is, and I understand, if we just sold a guy, a new truck, he's not going to buy another one next month or even 2 months or 3 months in most cases. And so we've got to do something, to motivate that customer who just spent $40,000, $50,000. He knows other guys that are going to buy a new truck. And when they see him roll up in his new truck, they're going to want to know, where'd you get it from? And, about the experience, what he paid for it, and what do you want that conversation to sound like? Do you want them to be highly motivated? Do you want them to be excited? Do you want them to be able to say, you know what, this exceeded my expectations. You need to go see my dealer. You need to go see my guy. He did you want him to go on and on about the buying experience. And so what is, that secret sauce? What are you going for? What is it about your buying experience? What is it about the customer experience that you're delivering day in and day out, that helps them, that exceeds their expectations? I actually had a dealer to tell me just a day or so ago that he has actually developed his salespeople. This was his exact words. I've just developed my salespeople to sell on price. And I'm like, really? Why would you do that? There's no salesmanship there. There's no skill to that whatsoever. There's no, what he's just said is, I've decided to be the lowest price in town, and so therefore I've decided to have the lowest grosses in town. In my market, I'm going to be the low gross leader. And so it's the easy way out, and it's the less profitable way out. And you may be able to stay in business, but man, it is not the way to make more money and have fun doing it. There's really nothing more depressing than to spend hours selling a vehicle to come to the realization that you didn't make any money on the deal. You're like, why am I even here? It's demoralizing to your salespeople. It's demoralizing to your managers. And they're like, it doesn't pump anybody up. Nobody goes home feeling like they hit a home run on those days. And so what is it? What is your secret sauce? Why do customers come to you? Why are they talking? When your customers leave here, how do they think about your dealership? How do they feel about you? And what are they saying to their friends, family, coworkers, and even total strangers? When we exceed the customer's expectations, they're going to respond in 3 ways, okay? And we know this for a fact. This isn't something that we made up. This is NADA statistics. Buying, we know when we exceed the customer's expectations, they're going to buy from us again. They're going to pay more money the second time. The NADA statistic is a repeat customer is worth an additional $1,500 in gross the second time they buy. And they're going to tell other people about us. They're going to send business to us. And that referral is going to be, you're going to spend less time closing them. You're going to spend less time building rapport with them. And the negotiating time is cut in half. And they're ready to spend money because they want to do business with you because their friends do business with you. And so, doing something that scratches their record, doing something that exceeds their expectations is an absolute must if you're going to get them, if you're going to change the way they think, feel, and talk about your dealership. So what are you doing? What are some dealerships doing out there to do that? There's some great ideas out there. Free oil changes for life. That was a big deal for a while, but now everybody pretty much just kind of expect that to a degree. That doesn't necessarily, they know the dealer's building it into the cost of the car, and so it doesn't build as much value as what they would think. There's all kind of things. There's gift cards. It's really never been easier to, show a customer how much you really appreciate them today, because of the internet and so many ways out there that we can automate these programs. And so, Brian, that's our message. That is what we're passionate about. We're passionate about helping dealers exceed their customers' expectations and letting them know how much they're really appreciated. They could have bought that same vehicle, Brian. They could have bought that same vehicle probably at 4 other dealerships within an hour or less drive than where they bought it. And so we need, when they choose to do business with us, we've got to do something that lets them know how much we truly appreciate them, and we know they have choices, and they chose us, and so it's time to let them know how much we really appreciate them, and they will in turn show us how much they appreciate that we took care of them, and we help them make one of the most important buying decisions of their life.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a few questions here, John. How much should we budget per sale?
That is, here's a great thing. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of money. The dealer is spending $350, $450, $500 to acquire a new customer, and it really doesn't take a lot of money to follow up with a customer after that, to send them a nice thank you gift that's going to exceed their expectations, and to stay in touch with them, over the next couple years. And it should never cost you more than, $50. I've got one of the best Ford dealerships in the country. I know he spends, about $50 per customer, and that's on the high end. And then on a quarterly basis, he has a VIP catered dinner for every customer that bought in the last 3 months from him. And so when all that's said and done, he's probably spent upwards of $50. But that is at one end of the spectrum. And then, I know other dealers. We've got many dealers with us that are spending less than $20 a month, and just they do it month in and month out because they love the response they're getting from their customers. And so, 20 is probably the minimum, you're going to be able to get away with, but 20 to 50, you can do some really great stuff, some really nice stuff that customers really appreciate for $20, $30, $40 a pop. And that's going to be, way less than 10% of what you're spending to get a new customer. And so it just makes perfect sense to, after you get a customer, to spend that extra 10% and make sure they know that they are very important to you and you truly appreciate them.
Great. I've got a couple more here. How many referrals should we expect to get from each sale as a goal?
Well, that is a great question. Okay, so, you have to figure that the most people that buy from you, a great statistic is that 60% of them, 60 to 70% of them will make another purchase, a secondary vehicle in their family within the next 6 to 9 months. Okay, and so right off the bat, we know if we take care of a customer, we can expect, we should be able to expect one referral almost directly related to the family. And then, most people are working on the job with others, and they have a sphere of influence. And so to get 2 or 3 referrals, from one customer is not unthinkable. But in terms of your whole customer base, let's say you're selling 100 cars a month. Okay, how many referrals are you getting now? Look at what you're doing now. How many referrals are you getting now? And how would it impact your volume? How would it impact your bottom line if you were to sell, half that many more? And these are it doesn't take a big increase in referrals to drastically affect your bottom line. And so, doubling the number of referrals you're currently getting, if you're not doing anything right now to exceed your customers' expectations, if you're not sending them any sort of thank you, if it's just kind of wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, you could easily double the number of referrals you're currently getting by, stepping up your game and enhancing your customer buying experience.
Okay. What are the benefits of using a service like yours versus just doing it on your own?
Well, we talk to a lot of dealers, and a lot of dealers say, well, not a lot, but some of them say, well, I expect my salespeople to do that. I depend on my salespeople to do that. And salespeople should do it. If they're smart, they should do it. They should follow up. They should. It's worth it to them. But we meet out of 100, out of 10 dealerships, 100 salespeople at those dealerships, you'll find maybe 4 or 5 truly sales professionals that understand, the value of investing in that customer, taking them to lunch, sending them a thank you gift, letting them, doing something special for them. And so the benefit is of using a program like ours is that when the dealer goes home at night, when the manager goes home, when the general manager goes home at night, he doesn't get to be involved in every transaction. He doesn't get to shake hands and spend time with every customer. He doesn't get to express, his gratitude to every customer that buys a car. And so the benefit of a program like ours is we need one person at the dealership who's committed and responsible to make sure we get the information to send out a gift box, a surprise gift box to every customer. We need one person there, and the general manager, the owner of the dealership, he knows when he lays his head down at night that every customer is going to know how much he truly appreciates them, and that's going to help him, that's going to help him retain salespeople as well. That's something, Brian, we didn't even touch on is, when we decide that our customers are expendable, we also have decided that our salespeople are expendable too. Because if we're not generating repeat and referral traffic for our dealership, we're not going to retain our salespeople either. Because these guys can't make a living on in-market active customers because there's no gross there, there's no money there, for the salesperson. There's no meat left on that bone for them. And so they're going to be there until something better comes along. And if all they're doing is selling 6 or 7 in-market customers every month, something better is coming along. And so we've got to take care of the customer, internal customers and external customers. We've got to let them know how much we appreciate them. We've got to make more profit. And the only way to do that is to build more value in not only our products, but in doing business with us and doing business at our dealership.
All right. Well, John, looks like that's our last question. Everybody on the call, I hope that you learned a lot today. Please interact with each other on AutoSuccess webinars on Facebook. I really appreciate you all taking the time to join us today. And John, I really appreciate you taking the time to share all this great information with our audience. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we say goodbye?
Well, I would just love, I'd love for everybody to go to our website and check out youdeserveacookie.com. Click on the car dealer page. You can see our program, our most popular gift box that we send out to help dealers exceed their customers' expectations. Includes 2 custom coffee mugs with all the dealers' logos and contact information on it. They can choose from 5 different flavors of our gourmet cookies. And I don't know what it is, Brian, but cookies are powerful. They change the way your customers think, feel, and talk about you. And so they love the cookies. They enjoy those. We get so many comments. The dealer gets so many comments through our surveys returned and just the online reviews about the cookies. People are just really delighted in those. And then, of course, the coffee mugs stay around for years to come. And so, every thank you gift box includes a custom thank you card, a comment card, a card that tells them about the manufacturer's survey they'll be receiving and how important it is to your dealership for them to participate in that. And all of that information is right there on our website, youdeserveacookie.com, and click on the car dealer page under Gifts by Industry. And if you have any questions, please give us a call. We'd love to talk with you and even get you out a free sample.
Yeah, John, I actually, with my breakfast this morning, I drank my tea from the sample that you sent me. I drank out of your mug this morning.
There you go, man.
Yeah, it's sticking around. Well, thanks, everybody. I appreciate you all coming. We will have a recording of this webinar, so if you'd like that, just send me an email or send John an email. I appreciate you all taking the time, and I hope you join us again for a future webinar. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, guys.